Good morning, everyone. Well, again, good morning. My name is State Representative Mahmoud Noor. I represent District 60B right here. I just wanted to say thank you for joining us today as we dedicate this bridge in memory of Senator Kari Dziedzic. I'm honored to stand with you all, elected officials, community members, family members, as we dedicate this bridge to our beloved Senator Kari Dziedzic. You know, she was not She was our strongest leader that we have ever had. Someone who I called a friend, someone that I trusted. And as we are standing here on this bridge, it's not about being a structure of steel and concrete. It's about what she lived and how she lived. The way she bridged communities across party lines and the way she brought people together. This is why we're here today, to celebrate the dedication of this bridge. And with that, I just wanted to turn to my Senator Doran Clark to welcome all of us and continue with the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Welcome, everyone. My name is Doran Clark. I'm the state senator who came into the Senate following Kari, and honored to be here today with all of you. Want to welcome you officially to Senate District 60, Representative Noor's district, as well as Commissioner Conley's district and Councilmember Wansley's district as well. Wanted to make sure we mentioned all the districts because that is part of how Kari governed. She knew how to bridge across, as the representative said, party lines, across jurisdictional lines, across all lines, and bridge us all together. I think you're going to hear a lot of bridge analogies today. And it is appropriate, it is good that we are dedicating a bridge to Senate Majority Leader Kari Dziedzic today. And so with that, I'm going to introduce the mayor to say a few words as well and recognize Mayor Fry.
Thank you. I think Senator Clark got it right. You will hear probably 25 bridge analogies, but Kari was so emblematic of everything that it takes to bring people together, and this bridge does exactly that. I remember the first moments meeting Kari, and it was during a campaign, 5-week special election where we all were running against each other. There was Representative Mahmoud Noor, there was myself, there was Peter Wagenius, I think Cordelia Pearson was in that race. There was a slew of people, and Kari and I bookended it. And what I mean by that is she won, and I was pretty much dead last. But I think we all can recognize that the right person got the job, the right person for this district and the right person for this state, because she had this unique ability of remembering every line of every paragraph of every statute. When Kari gave you a call and you had a meeting with her, you damn well better have been prepared, because she would know stuff that you've never heard of. She would bring people together that you would have never in a million years would have thought they would support that particular statute. And she was so damn tough. We were just talking about a debate that we had during that first campaign, and Kari was sick. And I don't mean like a little bit sick. I mean like violently ill. And she would leave the stage, go in the back, throw up, come back, and deliver by far the best answer of any of us. She was the kind of public servant that we all aspire to be and never quite reach that mark. She's something special. We miss her so damn much. And I'm going to miss just, mojitos over at Ginger Hop. I'm going to miss hanging out with her in the neighborhood. She lived just a few blocks away. And what's also clear is the Dziedzic family has a legacy in Minneapolis. When you think about the Dziedzic family, you think about the park board. You think about the work that the county commissioners do. You think about the work that Kari did at the Senate. You think about hockey. virtually every facet that people in our city strive for. You think about the city council, and speaking of, we got some incredible city council members that are here with us, including city council president Elliott Payne, council member Chowdhury, and council member Michael Rainville, council member Emily Koski, council member Robin Wansley. Help me out, guys, we got it, all right. Bottom line, the Dziedzic family has such an incredible legacy here in the city of Minneapolis, and to mark this bridge with their name, I think, is a big deal and is the right thing to do. And so I have the honor of welcoming up someone who I know, an incredible person, and someone who deserves the warmest rounds of applause. Give it up for Kari Dziedzic.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kari Dziedzic. I want to invite my family to stand behind me. Thank you so much. First off, I just want to say this is such an extraordinary gesture, and we are so appreciative. We're honored and we're humbled. And I'm sure Kari is looking down on us going, oh, just get to work. This is too much. This is too much. But she deserves the credit. She did the work. Kari at one point lived at the University of Minnesota right down the street and used to use this bridge. As she did a lot of the bridges in her district, she helped build the Laurie Bridge in northeast Minneapolis. But I think most importantly, I'm just so proud that she was my sister. And she was such a great senator and just so doggedly determined to help her constituents and help the city of Minneapolis. And we're just grateful to be here today and just want to say thank you. I see so many familiar faces that I've met throughout the years, and it just really warms my heart because Kari was that special. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to give it back to Senator Doran Clark.
I think it's appropriate to know that when Senator Mohammed introduced the bill to name this bridge after Kari Dziedzic, on the floor you saw everyone stand up, raise their hand as our custom, to get President Champion's attention to speak in support of that bill. Today, we may almost have quorum of the DFL senators here, that there are so many of us here. So for those folks, senators who are here who assert, could you please raise your hand? I've got the whole list, but Ann Johnson Stewart, Matt Klein, Sandy Pappas, Melissa Wicklund, Bonnie Westland, Mary Kunish, Susan Pa, Aaron Mayquaid, Claire Umo-Verbaten with the newborn, and Heather Gustafson. Who have I missed? And there's others who will speak that I haven't introduced, as well as Representative Emma Greenman is here, and former Representative Phyllis Kahn. The other folks who are over here are speaking. They'll get to introduce themselves as well. I am pleased to know that to share, though, that next up is the DFL Senators leader. Our leader is here to share stories as well. Leader Murphy.
Good morning, I'm Erin Murphy, and I am the proud DFL Senate Majority Leader, proud Senate Majority Leader. And I'm here today to honor the memory of our dear treasured leader, the tireless Kari Dziedzic. In addition to so many of my colleagues that we could caucus, are so many of the people who worked with Kari and so many that work in the Senate now and have worked. Please also raise up your hands. Everybody who works or has worked in the Senate who is here. Her reach was profound. It's an understatement, both in terms of her work and her care, and you'll hear a number of people talking about her bridge building abilities. It's true for me as well. When I served in the House, we bridged those two bodies and worked together on legislation. When I decided to run for the Senate, she showed up and helped me understand what I was coming into in terms of an institution. When I was newly elected and on the floor in a debate, and didn't quite have an answer I needed, she was the one right next to me with the answer to make sure that I wouldn't fail. And we served together in the profound 2023 and 2024 governing majority, where she moved the most profound agenda we have ever experienced in Minnesota. She is our treasured leader and a bridge builder. But I want to close by reminding us about what she reminded us near the end of her life. Life is fleeting. Grab hold of it. Be kind. Love each other. I think it is important in this moment to remember the human capacity that she brought to this work. Yes, she was a tireless advocate. She knew policy better than anyone, but at her core, she cared about each of us, and that's why we're all here today to commemorate and honor her with this plaque. Thank you very much, and now I'd like to introduce my colleague, the President of the Senate, Bobby Jo Champion.
Thank you, Erin. You know, when I was walking up the bridge here, I was like, oh, it's cool. I can see everyone, right? You know, you all were gathered and you're looking all serious. But I believe that this is a celebration, and when I have come to a celebration, we put our hands together and celebrate. I know some of you, like Senator Muhammad, is like, oh my God, he's really saying that. Yes, I'm saying this. Because we're here to celebrate someone whose life was worth something. Yes. And she made sure that not only was she putting forth things that she believed to be important, she put forth things that she believed to be important to you, right? And so when I think about Kari Dziedzic, and I'm so excited about this, right? I'm excited about this bridge. I know that we're all sad that we do not have her. But someone says her memory should be a blessing. And I'm thinking of a very positive thing that I can think about when it comes to Kari Dziedzic. Right? She would see me, and here's how she would salute me. Hey, Mr. P. Right? And no matter what time of day it was, I had the privilege of serving as president and really being right there to see her operate every single day. She was operating. She was trying to make sure the things that meant something was really put forward. I'm excited because you know what? If you can get Senator Umu Verbatim out of the bed from just having a baby, you know Kari was wonderful, right? And I tell you this, just watching her be a consequential leader, making sure that she could meet your needs and my needs, but doing it with a smile. And she would always have that pace in her step. Wouldn't she have that pace? She'd be walking. She would have them little platform clogs on her, whatever they're called, right? And you could hear, here she comes. But when I stand here, I'm standing here with gratitude. I'm excited about what we're doing today. And in fact, it was so funny is because you know those late night hours that we have? And Kari, when she was away from us the very first time, and she asked me to, serve in both capacities, help negotiate and talk. And I would always say to people whenever I went to meet with a group of people, I'm not here to speak on behalf of myself. I'm here to speak on behalf of our Senate Majority Leader. So whatever comes out of my mouth is what she wants. And you know what would happen at night after we had our sessions? My phone would ring in the car every single time. I don't care what time it was. 1 o'clock in the morning. She's calling me. Hey, Mr. P. I was like, what are you doing awake? Why are you not sleeping? She said, do you think I can sleep during this time? But that's because she always had her finger on the pulse. And she wanted to make sure that she was there for us. So you all, let me tell you just how excited I am to be here and to be standing on this bridge. No, I'm not happy about the fact that she's no longer with us, but what she put forward and how we feel about her was something that burned so deeply in my heart over and over again. So every time I do something, I'm going to remember my good friend. And Kari and I sat next to each other ever since I was in the Senate. She was my partner. She would be sitting right there. And if I had a question, Kari could tell you the page, the date, the time, and who did it. You knew that you had good information. So we're doing something that is worthy of her memory. And this symbolizes everything that is so important and true. but more than anything, she was a friend. And I see Larry Redmond here. I see other people that will say, see, I always get in trouble. The moment I start naming somebody, someone's going to say, why didn't you name me? But she was all of our friends. And we all felt special, and she made us all feel special. And for that reason, put your hands together for Kari Dziedzic's life. Now, without further ado, please welcome the great, the wonderful, Senator Dibble, please.
Thank you, President. I'm glad you mentioned Larry Redmond. He's lucky enough to live right up there. He gets to look right down at this bridge every single day. So, before I get going, thank you, Leader Murphy, for mentioning all the staff who are here. There's no one who is a greater champion of the people who actually make us look smart and help us do so much hard work than our staff. And Kari would very, very much not want just the shiny elected people be acknowledged, but know that the people who do the work are here, and they loved her passionately as she loved them. We want to recognize Nancy Daubenberger, Commissioner of Transportation. We also have our Fire Chief, Tyner, here. So happy to have you here. So we're gathering to dedicate the 10th Avenue Bridge in the name of our, and we can't say this word enough or with enough emphasis, our beloved Kari Dziedzic. It is impossible to capture the full measure of Kari in just a few words, but what most stands out about her, in my mind, is her kindness. And her kindness was not the kind of passive and gentle kindness. It was a kindness of dogged, persistent determination, of the toughness that the mayor talked about, her relentless determination. And here's how she expressed her kindness. It was through tireless hard work. Those 1 o'clock calls, President Champion was not exaggerating. I tend to leave the office late. I never left the office before Kari Dziedzic. I would walk by her office. We were on the same floor. That light was on. She was at that desk. She read every word of every bill. So then when he talked about the page and the line and the chapter, she had those details in her mind. But she did not work to advance her own name or her own career. She completely lacked a guile. Kari Dziedzic was completely about being in service to other people. She championed the success of others around her, and she always lifted up everyone around her. I want to acknowledge Frank Hornstein. Come up here, Frank, be seen, because the story that we have to tell is passing, many stories. I knew Kari for a long time, but in terms of her support and championing and holding other people up, we passed a phenomenal transportation bill in 2023 after 30 years of effort, and we could not have done that but for the leadership of Melissa Hortman, another amazing leader who is no longer with us, and Kari Dziedzic, both who just gave entirely of themselves. Their leadership allowed that 2023 transformative, once-in-a-generation transportation bill to be passed. So, and I did that with my brother, Frank Hornstein. We started working on that years before we ever even entered public service. So, so her dedication to public service was no accident. She inherited her principles and her values from her extraordinary family, including her legendary father, Walter Dziedzic, who was my good friend when I worked at the city council. And that instilled in her the conviction that our lives are best lived in service to our neighbors and our community. And I'm so happy to see Kari's mom here and Kari's sister, because I see her beautiful face in yours. And I'm so happy to see that here today, the beautiful Kari Dziedzic in your beautiful faces. As chair of the Senate Transportation Committee, I could not be more honored to help. Okay, here's my bridge analogy. Here we go. A piece of infrastructure, Ann Johnson Stewart. In Kari's name, a bridge, because bridges are powerful symbols. They connect people and communities. They ease our passage to where we need to go. That's what Kari Dziedzic was all about, easing our passage on where we need to go. This bridge, which Kari fought for herself, took many tens of millions of dollars to renovate this bridge. It was hard. It took a lot of years to get that money. Is a reflection of her value. It's more safe. And look at this beautiful bridge. It works for everyone, whether you're walking or biking or rolling or driving. This bridge is transformed. And it's especially useful to the students who cross across this bridge, connecting the sides of the campus. So, as we cross this bridge, let's remember Kari Dziedzic, her grit, her generosity, her heart for the people she served, and commit ourselves to honoring her legacy in everything we do, President Champion, and everything we do going forward. Thank you very much.
Next is Senator Zainab Mohammed.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm really glad that we're here today to honor Senator Kari Dziedzic's legacy by renaming this bridge after her. This bridge connects people, it connects communities, it brings us together, and it helps us move forward. That is exactly what Kari did in her leadership. She brought people together, she helped move this state forward. When we were out campaigning in 2022, Minnesotans told us that they were tired of gridlock. They wanted us to work together, to listen and to deliver. And under Kari's leadership, we did just that. We passed a historic paid leave. We made sure children were fed, and we cared for our labor force. We took care of our LGBTQIA community and our immigrant communities and made sure that no one was left behind. Kari always reminded us that it takes teamwork to do our jobs. She valued her colleagues deeply, but she also never forgot the staff who kept the process moving forward, who make us look good, as you've heard all morning, and we honor a lot of them today. People like Chris Runquist, whose idea this was, who hates the fact that I'm probably saying his name, Beth Johnson, Michaela, Steve Peterson, and many of her other staff. Kari showed us that even when we disagreed, we can still debate and have a respectful dialogue with love and care for Minnesotans at the center. She led with courage. Even as she battled cancer, because of her, Minnesotans now have paid leave. She cared for the entire state, not just some, but all of us. She had a gift of making people feel seen and heard in an institution that feels so much bigger than all of us. This bridge will now carry her name, but more importantly, her example will carry us forward. And as a new member of our Senate DFL caucus, 40% of our caucus are brand new. And I know we are all lucky and all better off with Kari being our leader at some point. Thank you. And now I'm going to call up Senator Omar Fateh.
You know, when I first was approaching this bridge, I ran into Margaret Anderson Kelleher, who's in the back, and she said something to me that if you know Kari very well, you know is very true, that she would have hated this today. She would have hated the attention, right? But what we all agree is that she deserves it. She absolutely deserves it. I remember when I first got elected in 2020, she was one of the first senators that reached out to me that would advise me. I remember going to orientation, the freshman orientation, thinking about some of the questions maybe you're too embarrassed to ask out in public, especially as an organizer, like, what is bonding? How does that work? You know, I don't want to ask that out loud, right? But there's no questions that were too embarrassing. And that's who she was. And you heard the list of accomplishments we got across the finish line last biennium by Senator Mohammed. That happened because of Kari's leadership. We've seen many states that had a trifecta, solid majorities. And to get that list of accomplishments, not just with a majority, but a slim majority, that's damn impressive, right? A 34-33 majority. I remember myself, there were times in which I've had some bills in 2023 in which I was going to Kari saying, you know, I thought these bills would be low-hanging fruit. This shouldn't be this hard, right? And she would say, no, let's do this. This is how you do this. This is who you talk to. We'll work this out. We would scheme together. And at the end of every plan, she would be like, this is our secret, right? And guess what? She would get it done. And that was her leadership style. With a one-person majority, every single member of the caucus was valued. Every single member. Urban, suburban, and rural. No one was left out because that's who she was. I remember one specific instance in which we were at a standstill on one of my bills, and she reached out to me. She said, "We got to meet about this. Let's talk this out. I really want to see you win on this. Who's a senator you trust that you can bring in this meeting, right?" I said, "Let's bring Senator Hoffman." And she said, "That's interesting," right? Yeah. And who else do you want to bring from the House? We need a House strategy. And I said, Paul Cummings. And those of you that know in the House, Paul moves mountains over there, right? And he's a staff member and he's amazing. And so we met on a Sunday at a restaurant, which was supposed to be a 1-hour meeting, turned to 6 hours, right? She sat with us for 6 hours, hashing out everything. Now, to be fair, we got everything done within maybe the first hour, and like the last 5 hours were just us catching up and talking, right? And that's the time she invested in all of us. And so we all love her, we care about her, we're all here together to remember her, and I miss her like hell. And I'm really honored to just have the opportunity to speak on her behalf, on the behalf of the caucus. And let's just keep her in our prayers, continue to keep her in our prayers. And to her family, we all love you as well. So thank you so much. And with that, I'll pass it off to Representative Sidney Jordan.
Hi, everyone. I would say thank you for being here, but I know all of us, there was no choice for any of us to not be here. We all wanted to be here because we all cared so much about honoring our friend Kari and the work and her legacy that she left for the people of Minnesota. And I know that every single one of us is part of that. Kari was so proud of her family and was so proud of her nieces and nephews especially, and you're a big part of her legacy. And every Minnesotan is part of Kari Dziedzic's legacy. When you, go across a bridge or enter a school or work to make the world a better place by planting a garden or caring for a neighbor, you're part of Kari Dziedzic's legacy because our communities are all part of what Kari cared so much about. When I was a student at the University of Minnesota, that was the first time I met Kari, and Kari always encouraged me to be involved in my community. And I know I wouldn't be standing here talking to all of you if it wasn't for Kari Dziedzic. She was someone who encouraged me to run for office. She also encouraged the other 12 people who ran for office that year to run for office because she believed that everyone had a voice and was part of this. So when you're part of this work that you do, that is Kari Dziedzic's legacy. And I know she's so proud of all of you here today, and she's especially proud of her family. I do agree that she would be very embarrassed to have this bridge, but I also know that she would want the bridge named after her to be in Northeast Minneapolis. But I know she's proud of this bridge from when she was a student at the University of Minnesota and all of the students that she cared about so much. She did care about every constituent of hers, not just those of us that are lucky enough to call Northeast Minneapolis home. But there's one person I wish there were many times I could talk to this year. It was Kari. I've thought about that a lot, even this week, wishing I could just pick up the phone and call Kari. And I know I could have called her at 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. like so many people said. But we miss you, Kari, and we're so lucky to have had you in our lives. So thank you. And I would like to introduce Oreen Chowdhury from the Minneapolis City Council.
Hi, everyone. I think I'm one of the last speakers before the photos and reveal, so you could say I'm bridging the gap here. So today is kind of a bittersweet day. Bitter because we deeply miss our friend, Senator Kari Dziedzic. Sweet because we get to honor her life and her legacy and the indelible impact she has made with all of us through this dedication. Kari was one of my very first mentors in public service. When I was coming up on this bridge, I felt automatically 18 years old again. And when I was 18 years old, I was very, very fortunate to have her be my senator. She showed up for me. She showed up for so many students, renters, our immigrant community, workers, and always showed up with a sharp mind, a lot of purpose, and a listening ear. And sometimes she showed up into cramped student apartments for a meeting like it was any other meeting. She gave me my first job on the official side in government, interning in her office. And wow, did I geek out about it. I was like, I get to work in Senator Kari Dziedzic's office. I'm a little nervous. But she welcomed me in with open arms, as she did countless other students that she brought into her office. And I owe her a lot because she lit the spark in me for continuing work in local government and public service. And she gave me that first opportunity. She gave me that first chance, and you never forget the person that gives you that first chance. And I know I'm not the only one she gave that first opportunity to. There's just a line of young people who got their start in local government and public service because of Senator Kari Dziedzic. It was truly a privilege to watch her lead. In her office, I got to see what true public service looked like. She made people feel heard. She always remembered their names. She would write them handwritten notes that would literally show up right after they had met with her. I watched her pore over bills and research for hours, just sitting at her desk and preparing with such quiet dedication. That's how she memorizes everything. She just sits and reads and internalizes it. And she shares that information with everyone else around her because she was a team player. And when she ran for leadership, I was thrilled, like that LFG kind of thrilled. Because I knew what we all knew. We were all about to get that rare leadership, both powerful, intentional, and kind. And the leadership that delivered, and boy, did Senator Dziedzic deliver. We were very, very lucky to witness it, and we were lucky to know her. And to her family, thank you so much for sharing her with us in the state of Minnesota and for supporting her. Kari was a true bridge builder in every sense of the word, and feel so honored that today we can dedicate the 10th Avenue Bridge to be the Senator Kari Dziedzic Memorial Bridge today.
Kari was consequential, and I think her family knew it best. Her mom knew it so well, and thank you for bringing her into the world for all of us. And honestly, it's true and good. And you all helped and lifted her up, family. So thank you for all that, because of you, Minnesota is the strong state it is on the leadership that we had with Kari. In closing, before the kids unveil the sign, I think we all have seen the many things, but the news stories that came to me was, after I was elected, was how many people she mentored. And you heard it from Representative Jordan, my representative, and you heard it from the council member. And I guess that's what I ask that each of us do. Find the people that need to be lifted up. That's what she did for all of us. And we may not be able to work quite as hard as Kari ever did, but together we can help fulfill and live her vision and the promise that she provided to Minnesota. So with that, I will ask the kids to come front and center and everybody else to come near the kids. And we are going to I'll go on the other side. We will officially reveal. All right. Yep. All right, we'll let them get set up. You set? All right, whenever you're ready.